It's the 21st century, and it's time for you to break free from the old ideas, the old beliefs, the old shackles that have been holding you back and keeping you bound in misery and failure. It's time to learn the truth about your power and about what's really going on in the world. Everything that you see and experience is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Nothing more, but nothing less. Learn the truth. Change your life. Change the planet. Welcome everybody to another episode of Reality Changer Radio. I'm your host Dave Dickey, and tonight we're going to be exploring something that's near and dear to my heart, and I felt moved by the recent news from Russia to have this broadcast tonight. I read that President Putin has declared that swearing in all forms of media in Russia is now banned. I don't know all the details about it, but I reach out to my Russian brothers and sisters tonight, and hopefully you're listening to me, and I want you to take heart, and I want everybody to take heart, because whatever you may think or feel, or do, or say, will be a reaction to what has happened. If you really want to change what has happened, you will not react to it the way that you've been taught to. The way that you've been taught to react is exactly what got everybody in this mess in the first place. So, I want to talk tonight about watching your mouth, which is hence the title, Watch Your Mouth. And I don't mean that from the old school of watch your mouth or you'll get slapped. But I mean it from the new school, watch your mouth or you'll get slapped, cosmically. You see, every word that you use, whether you're talking about a situation or an individual or yourself, has power. How you describe it, how you put intent into it, how you feel it, how you emphasize it, and whatever discussions you have before that and after that, have a ton of power. And while you may be a grown-up and nobody's around to slap your mouth when you use swear words or the wrong attitude or that kind of thing, the universe is always sitting there ready to slap you when you start talking negatively. Now, I mention what has gone on in Russia because I think what's happened, and while I'm never a fan of censorship of any kind, I think they're reacting to what they see as, I don't know what. But look, we have gotten to be not just an attitude era of this and that, but a whole world attitude of F this and F that. And I believe that most of it stems from the concept that, well, I may as well just say F that because there's nothing I can do about it. I may as well just say F this and F that because I don't care. But not because I don't care because I know I shouldn't and there's a cosmic way to change what I don't like. No, we've been indoctrinated into saying F this and F that and not caring because we have been made to believe there's nothing we can do about it because we don't have enough power. Well, that's crap. And hopefully the word crap won't get me banned in Russia. It's all crap. you have more power than you could ever imagine. You know, I posted a thing that I found on Facebook, and it says that you're more powerful than you ever thought of, and they fear the day you find out. Something to that effect. And it's true. But back to the speech and why you need to watch your mouth. That power can hurt you, and it can hurt others. And by your negative thinking, you can inadvertently hurt others. Listen, all of your actions are based off of your thoughts and your feelings. There's no two ways about it. If you don't have your thoughts and feelings in alignment where they should be, your actions are just going to be way off the chart, not where they need to be. You know, for years, the Russian people have, you know, Americans have made jokes about the Russian people about being backwards, and their latest song came from 1962, and this is in the 90s. And I don't know if it's really true, but you have to understand that these people have gone through a whole lot in their life with the World War and communist dictators and the whole thing. Yeah, at a point, if you don't know better, you say F it. F it, F it, F it. And apparently enough is enough for President Putin. He's siding with the Orthodox Church, and I don't know the details, and it's not my place to judge anybody. So don't do that either. Don't judge this man. Don't call him a rotten commie. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You don't know the story behind the story. And this is no different than knowing why your programmers did to you what they did. You don't know until you investigate. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's prompting all this. And most of the time, you don't need to know. You don't need to know because everything that's happening around you doesn't mean anything unless you allow it to mean something. And if you're allowing it to mean something, you had better well be controlling it all. And that's the only reason you're allowing it to mean something. Because if you're allowing it to mean something and you're still living in old school programming where you react to the external because you don't have all the power and it's not your fault, then you're in for a boatload of trouble. And it's never going to stop until you change the way you do things. Change the way you think about things. Change the way you feel about things. Change the way you look at the world. Now, when things like this happen, a lot of people get together and they start these coffee clatches, and they start whining to each other, and they start minding everyone else's business. Well, sorry folks, you're not going to get me in that conversation because first off, I don't care. I truly don't care what they do over there. I truly don't. And there's two parts to my not caring. I don't care because I truly just don't care because I don't live there. But number two, I don't care because that's their business. That's none of my business. It's not my business. It's not your business. Unless you are a Russian citizen, it is none of your business. It's not your affair. And even if you are a Russian citizen, you could be in there and somebody could be banned worse than you. And guess what? That's not your business either. Because your business is becoming the perfect embodiment and projection of God's love. That's your business. Perfecting yourself and your life and your health and everything about you. That's your business. Everything else, guess what? Got some bad news for you. Ain't your business. I don't care what the connection is. Could be your wife, could be your kids. It ain't your business. That's a tough call. When you've been wrapped in all these old school beliefs that you need to be involved. Well, you don't need to be involved, because the other thing that they made you believe is that you need somebody else to help with the happiness routine. You need somebody else to do things for you. And that is based upon the belief that you don't have all the power. And that's crap. You do have all the power. All the power that you need to get a better job, get a better car, get a better mate, make more money, do whatever, solve a problem. All the power is inside of you. So the first thing that you need to start doing right now is to stop saying, I'm not sure what to do. I don't have the power. I can't change things. Stop that. Stop saying those kind of things. Because, look, the universe doesn't care. And even God knows that there's certain laws about the universe that have been put into place. And because of your free will, you have the free will to either make yourself a piece of crap or to make yourself a piece of gold. You have that choice. We're all given that option. But understand why we were given that option. You don't give somebody an option to be good or bad if they don't have any power over it. That's retarded. You just don't do that. And in God's infinite wisdom, I'm sure that was not the plan. As far as I'm concerned, everything that's been created and all this other stuff is not coming from somebody who is challenged. So then where do you go from there? You accept the fact that you have free will, and you accept the fact that what you do is nobody else's business but yours. But now, why is it nobody else's business? Because they can't change it unless you give them power to. So let's say you want to call your shots. You want to do your own thing. You want to do this. You want to do that. And you just want to say F it. Well, fine. But how are you going to do that? Are you going to do that using the tools and techniques and belief systems that brought you to where you're at when you decide finally that you're going to take life by the reins and stop being somebody's puppet? Or are you really going to commit to a new independence for yourself? A new day of a declaration of your personal independence by seeking out the truth. And I got news for you. It ain't where you came from. It's where you're going. The truth is, we all are spiritual beings. The truth is, if everybody were just to own their own divinity and act upon that ownership and believe it, then some amazing things would happen. And you know what some of them are? Everyone would realize one day you don't need governments. So who's going to ban swearing? You decide not to swear. The ultimate act of independence is accepting your own divinity and the power that gives you and acting accordingly. That is the ultimate act of independence. We're coming up on the 4th of July, where America signed the Declaration of Independence. We fought a war over it to give everybody rights and all this other stuff. And while people here in America would say, well, that all fell by the roadside, I would say to you this. Look around you at all the people that you think are being taken advantage of and watch their life. Don't get involved because it's none of your business, but watch their life. Do they spend most of their time reacting like they've been taught to? Or do they make declarations of self-independence and self-awareness and are proactive people who are just slipping here and there. You see, because when you are proactive and you make declarations of self-independence, you change chemicals in your brain. And when you do this on a consistent basis, you change your attitude about whether or not life is kicking you around or you're just not looking through the right door. So if you want to be independent and you want to be free and you don't want anybody telling you what to do, you need to personally own your divinity and the power that that gives you. Russians are no different than Chinese, who are no different than Indians, who are no different than Americans. We are all the same type of people. We are spiritual beings in a physical embodiment. Jesus even said, ask and it'll be given. I don't know the exact words, so I'm not going to quote, but I'm going to say this. There's a passage in there where he talks about these things that I do, you can do, and even more. Well, what does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. When Jesus was performing his so-called miracles, he was trying to explain to everybody they're not really miracles. This is just what I do, and you could do it too, but you can't do it the way you've been doing it. You have to do it like this. And everyone was like, well, you know, I'd rather worship a cow, or whatever. And so they didn't do it. And some of the words that he used put him into jeopardy. He had to watch his mouth, but he didn't watch his mouth. He did not watch his mouth, which is why they hung him on a cross. If he had capitulated and said, no, I didn't say that, and, you know, this and that, they would have, maybe slapped him around, thrown him in prison for a couple of years, and then let him go. I don't know. But I know one thing. Jesus knew the truth and did not watch his mouth. You need to know the truth while you're watching your mouth. Because the only reason Jesus didn't watch his mouth is because he was speaking the truth. And the truth is not, my boss hates me, my car won't work, the bitch walked out. That's not the truth. The truth is that you've been sold a pack of lies and you've been programmed to believe that you have absolutely no power whatsoever as a divine individual, and that you need to suck it up and rely on the rest of the world for your salvation, because you're going to need to react to everything. Oh my God, the economy's bad. Look what they said about jobs. Oh, wow, it's really hot out here. Oh, I can't go here, I can't go there. I was going to do this, but so-and-so didn't do this. All of this is old school crap. And all of this, when you start vocalizing this and you start putting emotion behind it and intent behind it, you're just building a bigger pile of crap. That's all you're really doing. So I say to you right now, watch your mouth. And if the Russian people get any message out of what's just happened, it's to watch your mouth. And not because somebody's going to throw you in jail. Oh no. Because you see, you can't be thrown into jail if you don't want to be thrown into jail. But people say to me all the time, yeah, but I didn't want this and I didn't want that, and why did it happen? Because you're not controlling the situation like you've been given the power to. You listened to all those fools that brought you up and programmed you because that's what they were told. But that's not the truth. It's not the truth. The truth is, your connection with God is closer than you can ever possibly imagine. The truth is, you are all gods and goddesses in your own right. The truth is, read the Bible closely and go past the points where you know man has distorted it, and he has for thousands of years distorted the Bible, but left in some things. Didn't put them in, they were always there, but left them in. Such as ask and it is given. What's the primary focus behind manifesting? Ask and believe. Give me this. When you get into higher education in the spiritual realm, as far as the manifesting and understanding the truth and everything, there's two words that come into play, and you're going to love them if you're a control freak. The two words that come into play when you're manifesting on a higher spiritual level: demand and command. Now think about that for a minute. You're going to command the universe. You're going to demand that this happens. You're going to use your I am presence, which is your God link inside of you. This is your power base. That's why a lot of people, a lot of psychologists and a lot of affirmation specialists will give you a list of things to say that are positive, and it's all I am beautiful, I am positive, I am smart, I am. Just uttering those two words brings about such power. I am. And when you put emotion behind that and you understand that you are powerful and you are godlike, this is not blasphemy. This is what God intended. You are not separate from God. You are not separate from the universe. Quite the opposite. You're a piece of it. You cannot go around creating and manifesting and all this other stuff and claim that it is your power that you are doing it with. No, 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 no. Watch your mouth. You are the channel. You are the funnel for the power. You have the option of using the power however you choose. But never make a mistake and start thinking that you are the power. Oh no, that's not how the game works. You get to use the power. And as long as you keep in mind where the power is coming from and give thanks for that power and show reverence for that power, you get to use it all day long. 24/7. 24/7 is part of it. That's why when I say you're manifesting 24/7, whether you know it or not, wake up and smell the coffee. You are the powerful God or goddess. You just need to be awakened to the fact that you are that. You are that. So while you're listening to this now, I want you to repeat after me. I am that. I am. I am all of that. Say it again. I am that. I am. Look in the mirror every day. And I am awesome. I am courageous. But feel it. And start feeling, if you start feeling a little prickly on your skin, and you start feeling the hairs come up, guess what? You're getting a closer connection than ever. Okay? So I'm going to make this short and sweet. And I said that last time, and it ended up being a regular session. So here's my point to this whole thing. Watch your mouth. Because like old school programming will tell you, watch your mouth, it can get you in trouble. New school says, watch your mouth, it'll get you in trouble. Change the way that you talk right now. Change it. Watch your language. Watch your language. And you know, when I say this, I always find people going, whoa, 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 whoa. Look, watch your language about yourself and about others, and don't judge. When you find yourself starting to judge something or somebody like, oh, what a dope, stop that. Stop it, recognize it, turn it around, and forgive yourself. What will eventually happen is you'll catch yourself quicker and quicker when you go to judge somebody. Like, oh, what'd that idiot do that for? Or what a dope, right? So you're going to start catching yourself quicker, like, well, and you're going to stop. And eventually what's going to happen is you're just going to snicker and smile and laugh and do what I do and start saying, oh, you're so silly. You're so silly. But you're not blocking anything here when you start doing that. You actually mean it, as opposed to being fake. You're actually going to really mean it. And you're going to enjoy the concept that you don't judge others. Because judging others, look, it's another piece of the Bible, right? Don't judge lest you be judged. It's the same thing, because everything you do will come back to you. Understand that for a minute. Everything you do is going to come back to you. So, what do you want to have happen to you? Do you want somebody to judge you? Do you want somebody to call you a dope? Do you want somebody to second guess you? What? What do you want to have happen to you? It's going to come back to you. Okay? So the first rule of thumb here is watch your mouth. Stop talking negatively about anything. Seriously. Get into the habit of just not doing it. And look, if there's nothing to say, then there's nothing to say. Like the old saying from the grandmas, right? If you can't find something good to say about somebody, don't say anything at all. There's truth behind that. So watch your mouth. And to my Russian brothers and sisters out there, take heart and understand that your divinity, and I don't mean man-made in a church. I don't mean that at all, because everybody's got it all so wrong it's unreal. But your own divinity and your association with God is way deeper than anyone's ever told you or thought about. And it gives you the power to change your existence and what happens to you personally. To the point where you could be sitting in the middle of a forest fire and not get burnt. That's how much power you actually have that no one has taught you how to tap into. Think about it. And if you have any questions, write to me. realitychanger57@gmail.com. Because as the weeks go by, everybody, more and more I'm going to start putting emphasis on your own divine power and how to use it. So until next time, everybody, watch your mouth. I want you to have an awesome life. I love everybody out there, and thank you for listening. If you have any opinions about this show, feel free to write to me. Good night.